Council meeting of October 4th, 2013. Mr. Spagnol, would you please call the roll?
Allen.
Here.
Dixon.
Here.
Gibbons. Hannon.
Present.
Harrison. McLean.
Here.
Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Pate.
7 members present. This time can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have no chair announcements this evening. If we can turn to the library director's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine, and I'm the director of York Public Library, where we provide services to inform, inspire, and enrich the community. There's a few programs of note I'd like to share with you. Our annual Haunted Hat Tea will take place on Friday, October 18th at 11 a.m. We'll have tea and figured sandwiches, and we'll play Halloween bingo, and then we will award a prize for the kookiest hat, so we have to wear their hats. Another popular program is Pitbull 101. That will be on Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. presented by a group called Hello Bully. And the presentation will focus on the history of the breed, myths and facts about the breed, and the ineffectiveness of breed-specific legislation. It's a very popular program. Standing room only last time. And we will have our annual Children's Halloween Party on Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m. So students, children, grades preschool through grades 5 can come to the library after hours for stories. Some are spooky, some not so spooky. Some games. We do have games throughout the library and a craft to take home. We ask that the children please come in costume, and adults, if you want to come in costume too, that's great. And Miss Lynn will be hosting Zombie Origami. She is our resident origami staff member. She does amazing origami, even with right now she has her hand, she had her thumb operated on. She's still able to do that. So that's for students grades 5 and up. That will be Tuesday, October 29th at 8 p.m. And fundraising initiatives that are currently going on in the library. It is Friend of the Library Month. So if you haven't renewed your Friends dues, it's $10. Please do. It's good for a whole year. We are also selling entertainment books for $25 each. And our annual Fall Vendor and Craft Fair will be held on Saturday, October 26th. From 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the library here in Council Chambers. We currently have Chinese auction items on display in the library. Each vendor donates a Chinese auction item to help us raise some funds. So tickets are available for 3 for $1 in the library. And we have a variation on our lottery wreath going on right now. It's a lottery cat. It's not a real cat. It's a Halloween cat decoration. And there are 50 scratch-off tickets, $50 worth of scratch-off tickets attached to him. It's $2 per chance. They're currently on sale at the library, and that will be drawn on October 31st. And just a reminder that the library will be closing at 5 p.m. on Halloween Thursday, October 31st, so everyone can go trick-or-treating. And that is all I have. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We turn to the police chief's report from Chief Mackey.
Good evening, everyone. I have a couple Crime Watch announcements this evening. First of all, the next Crime Watch meeting is on Monday, October 21st at 6:30. And as usual, that meeting will be held at the Bethel Park Community Center. You don't have to be a member to attend the meeting. If you'd like to come out and find out about Crime Watch in Bethel Park, please attend the meeting. And when you get there, we won't put too much pressure on you to sign up, but we will give it a try. So please, if you're at all interested, come on out to one of the Crime Watch meetings. The second item is we're going to have our first ever Crime Watch Crime Prevention Recognition Dinner. That's going to be on Saturday, October 19th at 6 o'clock at the Community Center, and tickets are available through the Police Records Room for $15. We are going to recognize all the police officers, past and present, who have contributed to Crime Watch. Going back to Officer John Sherbandi, who is recognized as the officer who actually started Crime Watch in Bethel Park. Officer Shabandi, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but we will have a member of his family present so that the Shabandi family can be recognized. The dinner is catered by Pasta 2. So again, if anybody's interested in that, you could please check with our records room and we will get you a ticket. We are currently accepting applications for the 2014 Citizens Police Academy. The academy starts on Wednesday, January 15th and runs for 12 consecutive Wednesdays until the program's completed. We have a number of outside agencies, federal, state, and county, as well as the Bethel Park Police, who offer different courses of instruction for our participants. I mention this every year that over the last couple of years, the academy has become so popular that we, for a couple of years now, have had to put people on a waiting list. So if you're interested in attending the academy, once again, we ask you to contact the police records room or my office directly at 412-831-6800, extension 100. We would love to have you attend the academy. The National Drug Take-Back Program is scheduled for Saturday, October 26th. That runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Once again, we will have two locations, the Bethel Park Community Center and the Highmark Direct building up on 1775 Highland Avenue. Please bring in any unused, unwanted, expired medications in pill form only, and we'll make sure that those drugs are safely disposed of. Halloween. Halloween will be celebrated on Thursday, October 31st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. What we ask the residents to do is, if you are going to participate in Halloween, please turn on a porch light. That way the children know which houses to go to. And we ask parents to take all the safety precautions. Please don't send your children up to the houses with no lights. As far as costume safety, please make sure that your children can see. There will be traffic out that night. Carry flashlights to help the kids go from door to door. We are very fortunate here in Bethel Park. We generally don't have any types of incidents to report on or after Halloween. We like to keep it that way, and we do so because of the cooperation of the parents. So let's make it another very safe and enjoyable trick-or-treat for the children. And finally, I'd just like to thank the South Park Shops for sponsoring our child identification program. This year we're doing child IDs in kindergarten, second grade, and fourth grade, and sixth grade, as well as at the Neil Armstrong Intermediate School. The program is so successful that we have over a 92% participation rate by the students. So again, it's been a very successful program for a number of years, and we would like to thank South Park Shops for their sponsorship, because when you put on a program of this size and magnitude, it does cost a little bit of money. So we thank them for their sponsorship. And that is my report for this evening.
Thank you very much, Chief. Any questions? We can go to the fireman's report.
Hello, I am Lieutenant Kelton with the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. Just want to go over our fire calls for the month of August 2013, which actually I believe this is supposed to be September 2013. Sorry. Typo on here from the chief. All right, the fire alarms, September. We had 7 fire alarms, 3 CO alarms, 2 structure fires, 1 odor investigation, 2 gas leaks, 1 vehicle fire, and 2 brush fires, for a total of 18 calls for the month of September. That is one of our lowest call volumes in recent years that anyone could actually remember for 1 month. So we'll post that up to good fire prevention for the fire company. Total calls for 2013 so far is 316. We're probably right on track to hit around 400, which we've averaged for probably about 10 years now. A couple safety tips. This time of year, everyone's raking leaves, everything else. Again, you are not allowed to be burning leaves here in Bethel Park or anywhere around this area, I believe, in Allegheny County. It's a huge fire hazard, so please do not burn your leaves. They ask that you can put them out in brown paper bags out by the curb. There's some information up here tonight, I believe. And you can probably find it on the Bethel Park website as well, letting you know when and where you put your leaves out. Fireplaces, it's starting to get cold at evenings, early mornings, and weekends. I know I've been seeing lots of smoke out there from chimneys. Make sure you have your chimney inspected. We recommend you have it done every year by a professional chimney sweep. They'll check for any cracks in your flue pipe and clean it for you to help prevent any chimney fires. On November 3rd, you'll be changing your clocks. Please change the batteries in your smoke and CO detectors as well. After you change them, please check them every month. Press the button, test it. It'll beep for a couple seconds and stop. We recommend you do that every month and make sure it's still working. I believe a week or so ago, we just had our open house. This is one of the most successful ones we've had in recent years, and it'll be the last one for our old building, so thank everybody that came out and supported us on that event. And that's all I have for tonight. Any questions?
Any questions from council? Thank you very much. If we could turn to the mayor's report, Mayor Morton.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I only have 2 or 3 little quick announcements. I want to first of all comment on last Friday's luncheon over at the community center, where we recognized all of our 90-plus people for the luncheon. I want to thank Jack Allen for always coming through and giving all these folks an ice cream sundae. They don't take that home with them. They eat it there.
Did he leave any for us, Mayor?
There was some left, but I took them home. Also, I want to thank Bethel Bakery because they always give us cupcakes for those folks as well. And the people there really appreciate us. So that was a big success. I was glad that we had the turnout that we had. And we look forward to Jack doing a great job next year. Next year, I'm going just as a person to watch, just to see how well Jack does.
Under 90.
Under 90. Okay. Birthdays for the month of October for folks who are 90 or older. First of all, we wish happy birthday to Bernice Hapner, who is 90 this year. Warren Lenhart, who is 91. Lorraine Stokes, and Genevieve DeLugas, 92 years old this year. Ella Moore, happy birthday to those folks, first of all, and happy birthday to Ella Moore, who has turned 93. Ruth Bachman and Josephine Spalla are 94, and most of these folks were here the other day. Katie Bradford, happy birthday to her. She's 95. Stella Lease is 97. And Selma Warman is 99. So that's our birthday girls and boys for the month of October. And at this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to John Marr, our state representative, who has a special program for tonight. In fact, it's something that I think the whole community is going to really enjoy. John?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And on a personal note, I just want to add, I have been privileged that you and I have served together in the interest of Bethel Park for almost 16 years. It's shocking to me, and you know how I feel, but I did want to express it in public that I very much appreciate all your great service to our wonderful community, and I've enjoyed working with you. Thank you, sir. Could you say that in the mic? Thank you. Tonight is a special night. We have some good news. And I was thinking back across all these years, and while we've had millions of dollars in roads and bridge projects and got money for the community center and for the veterans and for all sorts of undertaking, Millennium Park,
Logan Creek.
The Logan Creek was, I think, until now, the largest grant that we got that wasn't for a road or bridge, and that was for flood remediation. And that was with the leadership of Councilman Mark O'Brien. But this is the largest single return of money coming home from the state capitol to the people of Bethel Park across those years, other than roads and bridges. And I want to salute Council President Mowry, who had the vision of how this might all come together. And I hope you could come up and join us. You're allowed to leave your spot. I know you don't like to be the center of attention, but you really deserve it. And I also want to thank our manager, Bill Spagnol, there you are, and Judy Miller, who responded in very short order for us to get this done, and other members on staff. Somehow, classically with government is always hurry up and wait. And so when the window of opportunity was open, it wasn't going to be open for very long, and we needed to respond. And the staff of Bethel Park came through in a big way. This particular program went through multiple levels. So we had to get the municipal leadership, and we had to get a county buy-in, and then we had to get the state Commonwealth Financing Authority to finally approve it. And if I might ask those representing the Industrial Park Association, perhaps you could come up and join us. Come on up, don't be shy. And the vision is that Bethel Park is dealing with stormwater runoff issues, as is most of southwestern PA. It's also dealing with the need to continually improve infrastructure. And the industrial park is a focal point of where these sorts of improvements need to move forward. And by doing that, it also is going to promote Bethel Park as a good place to work, as well as a good place to live. And so what we fought for and succeeded in accomplishing, and I need to mention Representative Rick Saccone, who, although he doesn't represent Bethel Park today, joined me in advocating for this grant. He represents South Park and down the ways, but he understands how we're all connected. So if, with no further ado, and that big a run-up, I'd like to present this mock check for $500,000 to Bethel Park that is for the use with the infrastructure improvements in and adjacent to the industrial park. So congratulations to all involved. Well, you may notice we're very big on recycling, and if you look closely, you'll see we recycle.
As long as we can spend it.
And don't try to put it in an ATM either. That's another advice.
Thank you.
So, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, John. John, thank you so very much. And I think the appropriate words, I happen to be, I'm Tom Diener, president of the relatively new formed organization, association, representing the business owners and property owners in the industrial park. And our mission, of course, is to enhance the business environment for the industrial park. We've come here tonight not only to partake in this, but to also thank council for the efforts and to salute them for the efforts. And John, to thank you folks for the state representatives for this grant. I mean, this clearly is going to enhance the Bethel Industrial Park. I think it's we all recognize and all appreciate that it is a real resource for the community. Not only is it a good place for businesses to grow, but also a great place for employment. I mean, we're now employing over 500 people in the park. We have well over 100 businesses in the park, and we look to really continue to grow this industrial park for the community. So we say thank you.
Best wishes. Thank you. I'm going in.
Again.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm still talking.
Thanks, John.
Well, this is great. I'm really excited about this. We're getting a park that's fixed up for $500,000, and we're getting a new fire department building, or a new firehouse. So things are moving on here in Bethel Park. That's great. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? How about you, Mary? Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I just wanted to say that it's interesting how this all started for the industrial park, is that Mr. and Mrs. Clark, who are my constituents, invited Tim Murray and I to a meeting, and you never know what can happen. And we thank you for the invitation. Look, it just grew. Tim just took the ball and brought it to staff and John, and it all just works well. And just from one little invitation, this all really grew. So that's pretty remarkable how sometimes things happen.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
True. Any other comments? That's all we have, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you very much. At this time, can we turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. L.
I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of September 9th, 2013.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of September 9th, 2013. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Allen?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. Allen?
I move the. I'm sorry?
6.
Yeah. 6 member.
6 members, sorry, Mayor.
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 101413 in the amount of $3,062,861.37.
Second.
Motion and a second that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 101413 in the amount of $3,062,861.37. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Dixon?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the resident comment section. If anybody has any comments for non-agenda items? Hearing none, can we move to the agenda? We have no residents signed up to speak, and I will turn to general policy and finance and Mr. Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first item is approval of the architect contract, Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company, Fire Station. Move that we, the municipality of Bethel Park, approves the architect's contract with Pichetto Ross Architects for services in regards to the construction of the new Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company Fire Station on Brightwood Road.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. The municipality of Bethel Park approve the architect's contract with Pacheco Ross Architects for services in regard to the construction of the new Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company station on Brightwood Road. Real quick comment, the next 3 items are dealing with the new fire station. The first item, obviously, we're going to be hiring an architect. He's already been on board for the last several months working with the fire department. The second resolution, which will be next, will be to approve a lease agreement at Kiefer Coal and Supply, where they're going to be storing the fire trucks during the construction of the new fire station, which will be at the existing site on Brightwood Road. And a third will be, most importantly, the bond issue to fund this project. While the number on the bond issue is $8.6 million, the net proceeds to be used for the construction of the station, as we've been saying for the last several months, is going to be $8.2 million. The debt service falls within the budget. We set it to preliminary probably sometime late fall last year, so everything so far is within budget. Okay, is there any other discussion? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Hannon?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Allen.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Hannon, I'm sorry.
The next item is approval of lease agreement. I move that we approve a lease agreement between the municipality of Bethel Park and Kiefer Coal and Supply Company in the amount of $28,800 for the storage of fire company vehicles in a form as approved by the municipality.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the lease agreement between the municipality of Bethel Park and Kiefer Coal and Supply Company in the amount of $28,800 for the storage of fire company vehicles in a form as approved by the municipality. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Hannon.
Third item is an ordinance for the bond for the construction of the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company Fire Station. I move that we approve an ordinance authorizing the incurring of non-electoral debt by the issuance of general obligation bonds in the aggregate principal amount of $8,680,000 for the purpose of providing funds for all costs associated with the construction of a fire station to be located on 5213 Brightwood Road, Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, and certain other municipal capital costs.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve an ordinance authorizing the incurring of non-electoral debt by the issuance of general obligation bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $8,680,000 for the purpose of providing funds for all costs associated with the construction of a fire station to be located at 5213 Brightwood Road, Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, and certain other municipal capital costs. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
6-0.
Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Hannon.
There's no further agenda items under General Policy and Finance, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hannon. Are there any additional items?
Yes, Mr. Murray.
Mr. O'Brien.
I would just like to recognize the members of council, led by Tim Murray, that worked on the fire station issue. They have put a lot of work into it, and they did a great job. I mean, if you would just imagine the amount of hours, time, information, along with the fire department, it's incredible what they accomplished. And I just wanted to thank them. I did not serve on that committee, and so they did a really nice job. I want to thank them. Also, too, with the Affordable Care Act going into October 1st, I've received some calls about people that are concerned and really not knowing what to do and having difficulty getting on the website. And so for myself not knowing how to respond to them, I reached out to Congressman Murphy's office, and Tim walked me through all the his staff, and they actually got me in contact with Tim, and it is really quite a mess at this point in time, and they're trying to sift through it and get everything up and running. The thing that he wanted me to show a concern to is that they're finding across the country, and not here yet, like Jim Hanna pointed out, is that some people are going door to door soliciting information from people about their health care, offering help and things of that nature. And under the Act, they have navigators, and that's people that are supposed to help people with this process, but they're not supposed to go door to door. So, you know, you have to be real careful about giving out information when it goes door to door. And I'm going to hand it over to Chief, because we had some discussions before we come out here, and what to do if someone comes to your house and approaches you for information on this issue.
In response to Mr. O'Brien's concerns, the municipality of Bethel Park does have an ordinance which requires people to register with the police department if they are going to solicit. And basically, soliciting is defined as going from door to door or place to place for the purpose of selling goods. Now, there are a lot of organizations that are exempt from soliciting permits. Those typically are religious organizations and organizations that work for the public good. For example, somebody like Clean Water Action, and I would imagine that a federal agency or those hired by the federal government to assist people in this manner would also be considered for the public good. What we recommend to those agencies when we receive complaints, sometimes they do register with us in advance, we will still issue a permit. The difference is we're just not charging them for it. And the main reason is so that we feel comfortable knowing that people are going from door to door in our community and we know who they are, because believe me, when people are soliciting, we receive a lot of complaints. So the main purpose is just to know who's out in the community going door to door. What I recommend to our residents is anytime you feel uncomfortable with somebody who's come to your door, you need to call the police so that we can identify or at least find out what they're doing. And again, we don't require them to get a permit, but we're more than happy to issue a permit for them to go door to door. We also recommend that you not give out personal information, obviously, for identity theft reasons. I've always recommended in the past, if somebody comes to you or somebody calls you, you really don't know who that person is. And I would be very hesitant to give out personal information. On the other hand, if you've reached out to somebody, whether it's an individual or an agency or a company, then I think you could feel relatively secure in the fact that you know exactly who you're dealing with and you can give personal information. Obviously, the things that you want to be very careful with are your birth date and, most importantly, your Social Security number. So again, it's a lot of common sense in just protecting yourself and your family. And also, if you feel unsure or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact the police, and we can let you know who's in the neighborhood soliciting or going door to door at any given time. And then you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to give information or if you want to donate to somebody who's requesting donations.
Thank you very much, Chief. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, real quick, Mr. O'Brien talked about the fire department. It's been myself, Mr. Allen, Mr. McLean, and Mr. Hannon have been meeting with the fire department for more than 3 years. A lot of good things have come out of it. The fire department's been very open with us. They've shared their concerns. We've tried to deal with them. And, well, we're issuing the debt tonight. This project will go on for another 2 years. So we're going to be working closely to make sure that everything's done to what the specifications are and what the firemen are looking for. And this is just a follow-up that as we talked when we did the referendum question, the facilities, all 3 fire stations will be owned by the municipality. Probably at our November, maybe December meeting, we'll be approving an agreement between the 2 parties. Effective the first of the year, they're going to be turning all their properties over to us, and the municipality, the taxpayers, will be their landlord. And about the grant tonight we received, I'd like to thank also our staff, Jerry Duke, Mike Smith, and Gene Statler, for really turning things around in a matter of hours when the opportunity presented itself. We always come up with the good ideas, but those guys always make it happen. So we want to thank them. Okay, at this time I'd like to turn to Planning and Zoning and Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, for the 2nd month in a row, I have nothing under planning and zoning. I'm going to get laid off if this keeps going.
That's right. We're going to deduct your pay. Any other additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Health, Safety, and Welfare and Mr. McLean?
I as well have no agenda items this evening under Health, Safety, and Welfare.
Are there any additional items?
There are a few.
Mr. McLean.
I have a couple of community service announcements. The first is during the fire chief's report, we heard that you can dispose of your leaves at the curb. This week starts the fall leaf collection program, and it'll continue this week and for another 6 weeks. Residents are permitted to leave the leaves at the curb on the same day as their regular trash collection. You're not permitted to put them in plastic bags. You have to put them in brown paper bags or in containers clearly marked leaves, but you can dispose of them, and that'll continue through the week of November 18th to the 22nd. Second announcement is that the Bethel Park Recreation Program has added an additional speaker to the Town Hall Speaker Series. Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald will be the guest speaker at the program on Wednesday, November 20th at 7:45, and that'll be held in the community center, and admission is free, so it's a chance for everyone to come out and hear the county executive speak, and we're glad he's been willing to come to our community and speak with us. Third announcement is that Tri-Community South EMS will administer flu shots free of charge to anyone 18 years of age or older. That'll be at the Bethel Park Community Center, Room C, on Friday, October 25th, and that'll be between the hours of noon and 3 p.m. And then finally, I just want to add a small note of thanks to the Tri-Community South EMS, a neighbor of ours. Fell a couple of weeks ago and was in some distress, and my wife went over to help her and her daughter, and she was badly enough injured that they had to call the EMS folks, and they could not have been better. Their care and patience and attention were really impressive, and I think we all know that they're a wonderful community asset, but it's still worthy of thanking them directly when you know of a specific example. So I wanted to pass that along, and my neighbor is doing better in recovery. So thank you very much. That's it.
Mr. McLean, are any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Mr. O'Brien?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are no items under Public Works and Maintenance.
Are there any additional items?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is.
Okay.
This month, October is the Navy recognition and memorial, so the Navy flags will be flying. I do have some sad news from the Bethel Park Veterans Memorial. We lost one of our committee members, Leonard Anthony. Leonard struggled for many years with illnesses that were directly, in my opinion, directly related to his time in country as a Marine. He served his community and country with great pride. He was just a wonderful man. He was an original member. He was never afraid to speak his mind or defend a position. However, one of the greatest qualities Leonard had was his ability to compromise. I also enjoyed Leonard, the way he loved and honored his wife, and his dedication to the memorial and always willing to help. We will truly miss him, and I'd like to thank Leonard and his family for everything they have done for this community and the memorial. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items? Is there a motion?
Move
to
we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.
If we are very fortunate in our lives, we will have the good fortune to get to know a few people that are as good as Rob Wyda. He spent his life serving others, genuinely, his entire life. His family, of course, his dear wife Sharon, his children Jared and Rachel, the community in so many ways, culminating as a magisterial district judge for the past dozen years in the community, and served our nation 26 years as a naval officer, deployed in Afghanistan, Iraq, and prosecuting war crimes in Guantanamo Bay. But always had a smile. You cannot find a photograph of Rob Wyda anywhere where this man is not smiling. That no matter what the circumstances were, he had that special ability to see what was good and where the hope would be. And it was infectious. He was a dear friend and a man of great humility, because of all the good things he did, he never spoke of himself. He never said, I did this, I did that. He always spoke of what could be done. And while dispensing one of the largest caseloads of a magisterial court in Pennsylvania, somehow or another, you never heard anyone ever complain. He was regarded as someone who was not just, but good, dispensed wisdom as well as sentences. He will be sorely missed, and I hope you will join me today with this resolution celebrating this very good man's great life and expressing our condolences to his family. Thank you.
I rise today, Mr. President, to recognize the life and legacy of Magisterial District Judge Robert C. Wida, who died unexpectedly on August 5th at his home in Bethel Park. When you look at the life of Judge Wida, one thing becomes clear. This was a man who was destined to serve his country, his community, and his family, and he did so to the best of his ability. Judge Wida was born March 26, 1959 in Bethel Park. He graduated from Duquesne University and Duquesne University School of Law. He chose his hometown of Bethel Park to settle down, raise a family, and serve his community. Judge Wida's service began long before he took office as Magisterial District Judge in 2000. He spent 7 years as an Assistant District Attorney and 3 years as an Assistant Court Administrator in Allegheny County. He also served his country as a commander in the Navy Judge Advocate General's Corps and was called to active duty for tours in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Guantanamo Bay between 2003 and 2008. He helped prosecute suspected terrorists, earning him the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, as well as the Army and Navy Commendation Medals. Still, many of us knew him best as the Magisterial District Judge in Bethel Park, and at the end of his life served Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair in his magisterial district. In his 13 years on the bench, Judge Wida fostered a reputation as a calm and fair adjudicator with a concern for the young adults that came into his courtroom. He treated everyone with dignity and respect, and this has become even more clear since his passing and the number of people who have approached me expressing the same sentiment. This reputation is evidenced in the words of Judge Wida's friends and colleagues. Bethel Park Police Chief John Mackey said, "He was the kind of guy who saw the good in people, felt people deserved the chance to set things right." That sentiment was echoed by Russell Del Rey, Vice President of the Upper St. Clair Board of Commissioners, who stated, "He was just a down-to-earth, fair person. He treated you like you were a friend." His friend and former Allegheny County Councilman Vince Gaskeb said of Judge Wida, "Rob represented one of the best examples of a man who put his family first, served his community, and served his country. He was a genuine friend, and he will be remembered always as a friend to us all." Judge Wida also donated his time and efforts to many community causes, including numerous veterans projects. Rob was a man who selflessly sacrificed and served his country, his state, and his community. He leaves behind a legacy of doing what's right, administering the law in a fair manner, and helping to improve the lives of the individuals, particularly those young individuals, who stood before his bench. He will be remembered by this body as well as by the many individuals he helped and counseled during his lifetime. Judge Robert C. Wida is survived by his wife Shannon, his daughter Rachel, and his son Jared. Thank you for joining me, extending our deepest sympathies to his family and expressing our great sorrow over the loss of this dedicated public servant. I respectfully ask my colleagues to join me in recognizing Judge Wida's life and legacy. Thank you, Mr. President.
I did have the opportunity to know Judge Wida on the professional side. I was a public defender in Allegheny County and was called to serve in his courtroom many times. I bring that up for a point because whether you were in his courtroom a prosecutor, or a defense attorney. We always knew that we were going to have a fair and just hearing with a decision that you may, depending on your side, not have agreed with or hoped for, but was sound and something that really you couldn't argue with. And I say that it sounds simple, but again, from a public defender, his work made a difference. He helped our community, and he'll be sorely missed. I hope that you'll join with us on this resolution.